With the development of drones, the surveillance industry underwent a permanent transformation. It may explore altitudes and heights that are difficult to record and capture with an ordinary camera. Let's dig in and discover what happens when a drone captures things humans were never meant to see. Number 15. Gray whale. We have something unpleasant but nothing harmful or offensive. A whale is shown in the photo around a couple of swimmers at Laguna Beach. You might wonder, a whale? Yes, but that's a gray whale, which is more significant than killer whales and often avoids eating animals in favor of benthic crabs and other tiny food. Underwater, gray whales are not visible because of layers of parasites and other creatures that give them the appearance of crusty ocean rock. Gray whales employ their baleen, a comb-like organ, to sort through their prey. These realities, however, do not come to mind when swimming around and spotting a whale close. Only a gut-wrenching response happens. Number 14. Crashing into innocent protesters. When the city of Charlottesville planned to take down the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee, a group of white nationalists banded together to resist that decision. These young white guys apparently didn't want their past to be erased, so they protested while carrying swastikas, anti-Muslim and anti-Semitic placards, semi-automatic guns, and racist chants. Naturally, the counter-protesters spoke against the extremist viewpoints of the racists at the gathering. One of the supremacists drove into the crowd of counter-protesters without regard for the safety of innocent bystanders, killing one and wounding 19 others. The driver was taken into custody. It's as if peace for everyone is something that not everyone can understand. Number 13. The ruins of Chernobyl. One of the deadliest nuclear accidents in human history was the Chernobyl tragedy. A steam explosion occurred during a safety test due to the reactor's design's inherent instability and an incorrect core layout. The following fire produced updrafts for roughly 9 days. Western Europe was radiated to unthinkable levels, with 134 individuals hospitalized due to the sharp radioactive burst's physiological harm. Some of them perished shortly after the exposure as their cells started to mutate and lose function. A drone photographed one of the building's interiors, which is a terrifying image. It appears to be abandoned, which it is, and even has a haunted house vibe. Number 12. Hurricane Maria. Most of Puerto Rico and Dominica were in fear due to Hurricane Maria's wind, rain, and unbelievable damage. There are horrifying drone-shot photographs of Hurricane Maria's devastation, which claimed at least 547 people, while the exact toll is probably greater. The cyclone destroyed everything in its path, including people, trees, cell towers, power lines, and roads, leaving the places it severely hit without energy, communication, or transportation. Although it's not evident from the photo, a river close to the 4-lane roadway contributed to the road's destruction. The photographer assumed it was the consequence of an atomic blast. Isn't that frightening? Number 11. Volcano in Vanuatu. This is somewhat unsettling, given that the drone is flying over a well containing one of the hot fluids known to man, lava. But we must admit that it's one of the best things the drone can film. A little background. There are various strata to the Earth. The Earth's inner core is around 7,000 to 8,000 degrees Celsius in temperature, whereas the outermost layer is about 0 to 870 degrees Celsius. In their attempt to study the size and ecosystem of the crater, these scientists lost several drones. Some drones collapsed into the lava because they couldn't handle the heat. Think of being close to the volcano. You may make one mistake and end up like some of those. Number 10. In the buff and on a billboard. Drone operators from a real estate company were trying to acquire some overhead images of the nearby property they were trying to sell, when they accidentally caught the sun-baking woman's back on camera. What could be more tempting than a nearby shoreline and a woman resting in her underwear in the backyard? Number 9. Tianjin blast site. This drone footage was captured in Tianjin, China by a public member and showed the violent aftermath of a massive explosion that destroyed a warehouse. The location of this enormous explosion is the city's port, which was thought to be housing a sizable industrial facility that was storing hazardous chemicals. The second eruption was significantly more extensive and damaging than the first one, detonating an estimated 800 tons of ammonium nitrate to make matters worse. The drone soared above, recording the destruction and displaying the vast, ashy wasteland left behind. Number 8. Dead Man's Fingers. We're not sure why, but this picture has a ghostly, eerie appearance. It makes one think of the evil ghost that haunts this island. One is scared by what seems like a dead man's fingers. The different seaweed threads face the direction of the beach as the tide moves in that direction, which from a great distance is like a new kind of spider. And nobody loves spiders. Then on the right side, you have the southern elephant seals, either living or dead, depending on the angle and distance of the drone. They appear minor, giving the impression that the coast is covered in dozen dead fish. Though we have no idea what it is, it certainly seems creepy. Number 7. Bike Graveyard. A Chinese photographer has got breathtaking drone footage of the country's famed bike graveyards, an issue caused by the excess of motorcycles and a lack of customers. Wu Guoyang flew his drone over 15 locations in China to photograph these rainbow-colored mass graves where dockless bike-share bikes from firms like Ofo, Blue Gogo, Gobi, and Mobike are laid to rest. The video footage, No Place to Place, is paired with Blade Runner 2049 style music and features hundreds of damaged, defaced, and abandoned bikes. Number 6. Farmers fighting the hayfield fire. Firefighters led locals to safety as one heroic farmer battled to stop a massive crop fire from spreading to his neighbor's land. Drone footage captured Bill Alexander's tractor plowing through the last fields as flames surrounded it in Lenham Heath, Kent, between Maidstone and Ashford. Andy Barr, the field's owner, took to Twitter to applaud his neighbor's heroics in attempting to save his crops. According to reports, 8 fire engines were dispatched to the incident, which spanned around 20 acres of property, and firefighters spent 90 minutes putting out the fire. Number 5. Demise of the city of Homs. Homs, which once had 1 million residents, now has a ghostly, lifeless appearance after 5 years of civil war. Those in Syria who were against the dictatorial Assad administration made Homs their base of operations. 2011 saw the beginning of the civil war as Assad's oppressors forcefully put down protests by angry citizens. Since then, more than 6 million Syrians have been internally displaced and about 5 million have left the nation for safety. The image presented here is merely one view of the extensive devastation. The video does a far better job of capturing it. Number 4. Tubbs Fire in Santa Rosa. The origin of this awful wildfire is yet unknown. The Tubbs Fire, which got its name because it started close to Tubbs Lane, began on October 8, 2017 and didn't completely put out until October 31. More than 5,000 structures were destroyed by the flames, more than half of which were in Santa Rosa, accelerated by wind gusts of up to 41 miles per hour. Unimaginable damage occurred in the Rosa neighborhoods. A fire station was destroyed. There were 22 deaths in this tragic accident. Number 3. Shark versus killer whale. Drone footage of nature's live action might not be as exciting. The situation turns a little scary. You've probably seen photos of sharks floating underneath surfers and news reports of sharks attacking humans. Have you ever wondered who feeds those sharks? Here's a photo of a killer whale acting playfully while consuming a 7-gill shark. Male whales typically measure 20 to 26 feet in length and weigh around 6 tons. It weighs exactly 12,000 kilograms. In case you didn't know, they have teeth too, just like the sharks. Number 2. Clown in a cornfield. We're not sure how to explain this, but in Huntsville, Alabama, it appears that a youngster was using a drone to capture the scenery of a cornfield. His drone gently ascends above the short grass area and travels through the neighboring woodlands. The drone then enters the cornfield and circles its whole length. It notices a clown-like person standing suddenly in the center of the cornfield. The clown flees quickly as the drone gets closer before vanishing into the bushes. The drone operator didn't proceed, maybe out of concern for the drone's security. Imagine finding a clown in a cornfield. The idea is frightening in and of itself. Number 1. Arthur Kill Ship Graveyard. The ship graveyard on Staten Island is an apt place for the lost spirits. During World War II, scrapyard owners acquired abandoned ships and extracted valuables. It ultimately became a site to gather wrecked ships due to its inability to keep up with the influx of vessels, which were hastened by people bringing in their dinghies. No one dares to cross the "No Trespassing" sign, beyond which rusted ships of all sizes lie in shallow water, some floating, others buried to differing degrees in various orientations. The image appears to have resulted from an accident, and no one wants to look at it again. As time passes, drone use will undoubtedly expand to include many more features and sophisticated technologies, and you might have to look at things you've never seen before. Drones are super cool, aren't they? That's all for today's video. Subscribe for more content just like this one and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to like and share.